Hello friends, this is Karthick Balaraman. Now we are going to see nominal account items. Their title is there, head of accounts, account, type, debit and credit. Now we'll see sales. Sales under comes in nominal account. Sales is the income. All the income of the business should comes in credit side. Next, sales return. Sales return under comes in nominal account. Sales return is a losses of the business. So all the losses should comes in debit side of the business. Should comes in debit side. Next, purchase. Purchase is under comes in nominal account. Purchase is the expenses of the business. So purchase account should be debit side. Purchase return. Purchase return under comes in nominal account. Purchase return is a gain of the business. So purchase return should comes in credit side of the business. Discount allowed. Discount allowed under comes in nominal account. Discount allowed is the expenses of the business. So discount allowed should be debit side. Discount received. Discount received under comes in nominal account. Discount received is the income of the business. Discount received should comes in credit side of the business. Interest paid. Interest paid is the interest paid under comes in nominal account. Interest paid is the expenses of the business. So interest paid account should be in debit side. Commission paid. Commission paid under comes in nominal account. Commission paid is the expenses of the business. So commission paid should comes in debit side. Rent paid. Rent paid is the nominal account. Rent paid is expenses of the business. So expenses account should be debit side. Rent received. Rent received under comes in nominal account. Rent received is the income of the business. So it should be credit side. Advertisement expenses. Advertisement expenses under comes in nominal account. Advertisement is the expenses of the business. So expenses should be debit side. Sundry expenses. Sundry expenses is the under comes in nominal account. Sundry expenses is the expenses of the business. So expenses are in debit side. Next, miscellaneous expenses. Miscellaneous expenses under comes in nominal account. Miscellaneous expenses is the expenses. Expenses account should be in debit side. Miscellaneous receipts. Miscellaneous receipts under comes in nominal account, which is income of the business. So all the income should be in credit side. Office expenses. Office expenses under comes in nominal account. Office expenses is the expenses. Expenses should be in debit side. Export duty paid. Export duty paid is the export duty paid under comes in nominal account. Export duty is the expenses of the business. So it should be debit side. Allowance paid. Allowances paid is the allowances paid under comes in nominal account. Allowances paid is losses of the business. So it should be debit side of the account. Allowance paid. Okay. Next, rebate paid. Rebate paid is the nominal account. Rebate paid is the losses of the business. So it should be debit side. Newspaper expenses. Newspaper expenses under comes in nominal account. Okay. Newspaper expenses is the expenses. It should be in debit side. Postage and telegram. Postage and telegram account under comes in nominal account. Postage and telegrams is expenses of the business. So it should be debit side. Conveyance paid. Conveyance paid is under comes in nominal account. Conveyance paid is the expenses of the business. So it should be debit side. Depreciation. Depreciation is the expenses which under comes in nominal account. Sorry, depreciation is the losses which under comes in nominal account. So depreciation is losses. So it should be debit side. Next, lighting and heating. Lighting and heating under comes in nominal account. Lighting and heating is the expenses of the business, so it should be debit side. Okay, next, profit and loss account, debit side. Profit and loss account, debit side under comes in nominal account, which is losses of the business. So profit and loss account, debit side should be comes in debit side. Profit and loss account, credit side. Profit and loss account, credit side under comes in nominal account, which is gains of the business, so it should be credit side of the account. Next, wages. Wages under comes in nominal account. Wages is the expenses of the business. Wages is the expenses of the business, so expenses should be in debit side. Carriage inwards. Carriage inwards is the nominal account. Carriage inwards is the expenses of the business, so it should be debit side of the account. Freight charges. Freight charges under comes in nominal account. It is the expenses of the business. It should be in debit side. Royalty expenses. Royalty expenses under comes in nominal account. Royalty expenses is the expenses of the business, so it should be debit side. Next, gas, water, fuel, which under comes in nominal account. Gas, water, fuel is the expenses, so expenses should be in debit side. Motive power. Motive power under comes in nominal account. Uh, Motive power is the expenses of the business, so it should be debit side. Import duty expenses. Import duty expenses under comes in nominal account. Import duty is expenses is the expenses. Import duty is expenses, so expenses should be in debit side. Bad debts. Bad debts under comes in nominal account. Bad debts is a losses of the business, so it should be debit side of the account. Salaries. Salaries under comes in nominal account. So salaries is the expenses of the business, so it should be debit side. Rates and taxes. Rates and taxes under comes in nominal account. Rates and taxes is the expenses of the business, so it should be debit side. Mm, Repairs and maintenance. Repairs and maintenance under comes in nominal account, which is expenses of the business. It should be debit side. Electricity charges. Electricity charges under comes in nominal account. Electricity charges is the expenses of the business, so expenses account should be in debit side. Insurance paid. Insurance paid is the nominal account. Insurance paid is the expenses of the business, so it should be in debit side. Next, carriage outward. Carriage outward under comes in nominal account. Carriage outward is the expenses of the business, it should be in debit side. Trade charges. Trade charges under comes in nominal account. Trade charges is the expenses of the business, so expenses should be in debit side. Okay, these are the things, nominal account items. Thank you so much. By yours, Karthik Balaraman. Bye friends.